Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you and welcome to another session of SBI Mains Practice. Those who are watching me for the first time, I'm Niharika John, your faculty of English, and I have been teaching English for more than 10 years now. So you will find many useful sessions here. I will quickly share the session on some of the groups. So uh, quickly, if you're new here, you can subscribe the channel for regular classes. And my classes here are scheduled on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Saturdays. These 3 days I have classes here at 1:30 p.m. And then the other 3 days of the week, my classes are on Monday, that's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, our main channel, which is CGB Mentors. And I have a news for you. I'm gonna start regular editorial classes which are exam targeted, exam oriented every day 8 p.m. on YouTube, okay, and on this channel. So it's going to be a 45-50 minutes class where we will have a discussion over editorial along with some vocab learning and grammar learning and all. So I would want you people to be regular here as well. Okay, ध्यान रखना है इस चीज का. जल्दी से like और share कर दो and we will get going. Sorry, that's your first question. So it's a short para on which we have a few question, 2-3 questions. हम सभी questions साथ में करेंगे and then I'll explain. Assuming that you are able to do question in 2 minutes, so answer to the second one. सब कुछ साथ में मैं आपको समझाऊंगी. Kindly answer. See, last question, then I'll explain all the answers. Is C again. Now, please understand how do we come to these answers and why these are the correct answers. So, first, read the question: which among the following, if correct, would be in line with the sentiment expressed in the given passage? Other words, this is the question of what strengthens. Okay, so what is strengthening? Which of the following strengthens the argument presented in the passage? Okay, now whatever is a right answer for this one, it is in the same tone, it gives us the same sense, same indication of what the passage is saying. Okay, so definitely the information जो यहाँ होगी first, second, third में, that could be new, but जो वो point कर रही होगी and what the passage is pointing, it's gonna be same, not in contradiction. That's how we know that the sentence here for this one second sentence is strengthening. Now let's read the passage. Consumers have proved to be messiahs for Indian economy in the last 3 years. Consumers are of great value, propping up demand for goods and services with their spending even as investment leg of the economy has stalled. So investment इतना नहीं है पर फिर भी consumers are doing well. But high frequency indicators in the last 5 months indicate that private consumption expenditure is losing steam. तो प्राइवेट कंजम्पशन में गिरावट आई है. पैसेंजर व्हीकल सेल्स हैव रजिस्टर्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्शन फॉर 5 months. Two-wheeler sales have been in negative territory. Consumer durables leg of index of production has grown by less than 2%. Air passenger traffic, which was booming at 20% until this, has lost momentum. So these are private consumption expenditure जहाँ पे गिरावट आई है. So the agricultural income has decreased over the years due to the fact that mechanization has taken place of manual labor. Now, income का decrease होना is not what we are getting here. Okay, investment कहाँ हो रहा है? Where these people are spending their money. If they are spending more or less, that's the context. So ये वाला, if true, makes no sense to strengthen in line with the passage. The housing sector is not registering growth, and a lot of new projects are unfinished by the realtors because of lowering sales figure. Other things are also having, this is one of the private consumption expenditure, and just like others, here also we are seeing that there is no growth. So this is exactly in tone of what is mentioned in the passage. The inflation has increased exponentially. That could be true on the back of weakening exports and increasing imports. But it is not in the tone of the passage. Passage talks about how spending is it has declined, or it is not happening as we wanted, ताकि grow हो सके. So answer उसके according only second था. Then which among the following cannot be very careful when you read the question, cannot be concluded. So only first one could be concluded regarding the slowdown in consumption. Okay. There must be some issue with the financing of cars, and cost of such financing must have increased in the last few years. कार्स में जितना पैसा लगता है, financing लगती है, या फिर ये financing का जितना cost है, इसमें कहीं ना कहीं there must be issue. That's why they have stopped taking interest in the expenditure in this area. So this is the conclusion that we can understand, because this can be the reason of the slowdown. Okay, there is a possibility. First नहीं है तो 1 2 options तो गए आपके. The craze among the middle class about air travel has died down completely, and we have absolutely nothing to do here. See, air passenger traffic, which was booming, lost momentum to register barely any growth. Doesn't mean there was negative or no growth. That's why saying absolutely nothing and died down completely gives you an extreme option, and that's why it is not what is a conclusion, and hence हमारा answer. Okay, it is not the conclusion, and वही हमको mark करना है. The income has not increased in the last few years, and that is why expenditure is also not increased. Author is nowhere mentioning anything with respect to the income of people. He is just mentioning their spending pattern. So that's why third is also not, we can conclude. Which among the following is correct according to the information given in the passage? So just need to check from the passage which of the following statements are true. The government spending has decreased, not mentioned in the passage. There have been multiple parameters and figures that have proved the consumption statistics is disappointing. So we can see there are like this 2%, 20%, different figures, different index and all. So this is what we get in the passage. The consumer demand is a boost for economy since it improves overall economy. So from the beginning, we can see that consumers have proved to be messiahs, the savior of Indian economy. And that's why if the demand is there, we can see economy growing as well. So third wala bhi you can interpret. It is true as per what is mentioned in the passage. We have another RC here. I'll just put away the timer so you can clearly see. I would want you to use full screen mode for such a question. So it's just one slide RC. इसी में 2 paras हैं and question is on the right hand side. Please start doing it. We'll do again all the questions of RCs together and then I'll explain. There are just 2 questions based on this RC. Answer to this one is B. Same passage. Next question. So, which of the following can be inferred as a reason why Queen wanted to support neither Protestantism nor Catholicism in her kingdom? So, we'll see what the passage tells us. For the most part, Elizabeth, both during and after her, Elizabeth first was a popular queen. This is evident from whatever relationship she has earned with the parliament, okay, and her representation. The admiration garnered a lot to do with her skills as a rhetorician and an image maker. Okay, so now we get to see कि उसकी क्या personality थी. Okay, she wasn't popular with everyone. However, her public image also suffered in the last decade when England was pressed by certain issues. Upon assuming the throne, now Queen Elizabeth first restored England to Protestantism. Okay, so that's what happened. This broke with the policy of her predecessor and half sister, Queen Mary I. आपको Queen Elizabeth का question है, आप उसका आंसर दो. And the other queen was the Catholic monarch. She undertook her own campaign to suppress Catholicism in England, although hers was more moderate. In fact, Elizabeth's religious moderateness earned her ire of some more radical Protestants who were convinced that her reforms were inadequate. Elizabeth wasn't interested in catering to either of them. The zeal of both having potential to disrupt the king of law, kind of law and order she was trying to establish. So her policies were in line with something else. She thought both of these were incapable to establish rationality. No. She saw the potential that could hinder her position. So both were hurdles in the path of her influence. That's what we get to see. What she was trying to establish. They had potential to disrupt. She desired the church to be under her influence. So her policies, such as the Act of Supremacy, etc., went a lot further to consolidate the power of the church under her. आपका आंसर सेकेंड एंड थर्ड था यहाँ पे. Now this one, which of the following statements depict popularity of Elizabeth? Her relationship with Parliament was hunky dory. Okay, so we can see it was a cordial relationship with the Parliament. That's true. She was very much praised for her skills. Okay, she garnered a lot of attention, admiration because of her skills, which is mentioned. The way she handled economic inflation is not mentioned, and that's why no, that wasn't your answer. ओके, सो आई होप ये वाला सभी को समझ में आ गया होगा. मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. Just in case anybody is wondering, hunky dory is anything that goes that is going very well, smooth. Okay, so now you can see this is a question where you have a passage and some highlighted sentences are given. I want to give you 1 minute to go through it, okay? And you will ultimately get some options where you have to check the grammar and the context part of each ABCD, each sentences, and then you have to mark the answer. But first, give it a quick read, understand the context so you can understand, the tone, tense, if it is used correctly or not, another thing. This is your first question. I hope you got an idea. Answer to this one is first one. I'll explain again all of them together. Next one. Second and third. Fire. Fourth one. Explain all of the answers. Positive. You will feel so shy. Why? It's be confident not to answer. So these are the questions where comprehension will help you, will give you a hint, but then of course you have to use grammar rules. You should know grammar rules to answer the right thing. So the first one, India's poor progress on. इंडिया के पुअर जो हैं they progress on nutritional indices. इंडेक्स का plural indices होता है. So India's poor progress on this must disciple the hubris surrounding around this. Okay? Disciple करना किसी को चेला बनाना हो. Definitely disciple तो नहीं होगा. In the second one, it says that it must dispel. Dispel करना समझ में आता है. We want that. But strong economical growth. Economical is an adjective. It relates to an pocket friendly. Economic is an adjective that talks about relating to economy. So you get to see that second वाला भी यहाँ पे जो है वो नहीं होगा. India's poor progress on nutritional indices must dispel the hubris around the strong economic growth and turn national focus on pertaining hunger. When thing connects with something, उसको हम pertaining बोलते हैं. Things pertaining to the class, likewise. पर ये hunger लगातार बनी हुई है, persisting होना चाहिए था. So first one is your answer. Then in this one, you can use the second or the third one. Now I will tell you a formula here. Please follow POD formula, which is point of difference. You can see like when we are saying this year's global hunger index. अभी ये जो GHI है वो हर जगह same है. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, everywhere year के पहले apostrophe S है. You try to figure out where the things are going differently. Okay, which part, like here this year's GHI place India. Places India होना था because हमारा subject singular है. So this place subject verb agreement में place as a verb जो use हुआ है वो गलत है. So first option definitely is out. In the given question you can see that the GHI places India in the accompany of. Accompany is a verb. If you want to talk about something accompanying something else, we will use the word company over here. Okay, so यहाँ पे company होना था. In fact, in the first one companion हो रहा था, which exactly is not what we should be saying. Okay, so companion दोस्त भी हो सकता है ना, but company of Sudan means in the same belong to the same group. Likewise, second and the third one यहाँ पे correction के लिए हमें needed था. Then the third one, no correction was required. That meant that first, second and third were wrong. Okay. So the GHI is developed around wasting and stunting. That's under 5. The share of the population with insufficient calorie intake and child mortality. The GHI is developed bound to. And when something is bound to happen or bound to is used, that thing is gonna happen at the end anyhow. तो वो हम बोल नहीं सकते. यहाँ पे गलत use of vocab है. That's why context गलत है. The GHI is developed around wasting and stunting. The share of populace, no, we're talking about population of a country. Okay, so that's why नहीं होगा यहाँ पे. The GHI is developed around this. The sharing as a gerund will mean आपस में बांट के करना. Whereas when you say share as a noun, it means the part of population. Okay, there is a percentage. तो वहाँ पर meaning में difference आ जाता है, and hence the given sentence was absolutely correct. Next one. So the evidence from NFHS is not very different. The reality is that the national policy have, if you have good hold on English grammar rules, then you know that policy have to hoga hi nahi. Definitely this is not what we want, and you don't even have this in the option, no correction needed. Okay, but the rest of them we'll have to check. The reality is that policy has no appetite for transformation. In what? Delivery of what? Adequate nutrition. खास करके especially adequate nutrition to women and children सही है. There is a need. तीन चीज reality बोलो या बोल दो there is a need. For what? Radical transformation. In what? Nutrition. किसके लिए? To women and children. But the reality is that policy has no appetite for it. So policy is not in the favor of it. Third one, सेम बात को तीसरे तरीके से बोला जा रहा है. To radically transform the delivery of nutrition to them needs appetite. Now see, ये थोड़ा सा थर्ड वाला समझना. To radically transform the delivery of nutrition to them. This whole part of the sentence is acting as one subject. Actually, to से शुरू होता है जब कोई sentence, okay, and V1 follow करता है, and then there can be certain other words. This is a type of subject which is one idea, and hence we consider it singular. Okay. So, for example, I will give you a simpler sentence to understand. To read editorial is fun. See, इसका subject editorial read या in fact to read editorials भी बोलूँगी तो भी is आएगा. Why? Because this word alone is not my subject. An action to read them, that action is my subject, and that action is fun. So you will have instances where such a sentence format, such a structure is given. तो वो आपको ध्यान से देखना पड़ेगा. So to क्या needs आ गया, needs appetite which is at present missing from what in policy. तो आपके तीनों ही sentence यहाँ पे fit आ जाते हैं. Okay, and the last one,